And again, you know, they had 7 billion shares outstanding. They decided they wanted to use all this cash. I mean, every year, 8 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion, 8 billion, 3 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, 5 billion, 11 billion, 12 billion. What'd they do with any of this cash? Nothing. They bought back their shares at prices that were way too high, that would end up dropping. You know, you buy back your stock if you think it's cheap, but what do you know about investing? If you knew anything about investing, you would have bought Nvidia stock. So, you know, it's just kind of this, you know, corporate America is terrible at strategy and mergers and acquisitions. And sometimes, you know, you'll get a CEO who's really good and they'll actually deliver the goods. And they're just brilliant and they know how to do both. But investing traditionally is, you know, one thing, but then deciding, okay, this is a great company, I want to have a part of it. That's kind of a different job altogether. So look at the big boom here. This was like massive boom time. Look at the revenue. No, wait, hold on. I have this was a big boom time. But revenue jumped from 25 to 33 before cratering a bit. 25, 070, 26, 273, 29, 389. And then again, you had this big decline. But that was a big stretch. I think there was another cyclical period in 94. But let me fill these out real quick. Take 2 seconds. And there was a split. Stock splits were also in vogue at the time. Americans wanted cheap shares. Nobody wanted $1,000 share. Now it's the opposite. And again, you know, 7.2 billion shares outstanding, all the way down to 4 billion, you know, huge waste of capital. But again, a company had no idea what to do with the rest of their money. They could have gone into they could have gone to foundry. They could have gone into manufacturing equipment. They could have gone into anything but what they did, which is take their stock and buy back shares. Yeah, it's real cringe stuff. But again, easy to say with hindsight, right? Easy to say, oh yeah, you know, what I would have done was this. Well, you're not Andy Grove, I guess. Who were the CEOs of Intel? Andy Grove, Craig Barrett. That comes to mind. Does anyone remember that name? Sort of different tenures. So here is the mega growth, 20% growth there. So this is kind of analogous to maybe what Nvidia is going through now, this period, the 90s. But I want to go back even further. So yeah, here's the 40%, 20%, 29%, 20%. This is Windows 95, Wintel dominance. Revenue goes from 11 billion to 33 or 34 billion. Now, we know that Nvidia did way more than that, right? So we're going to see if we can, no pun intended, parallelize. Nvidia makes parallel processors. Parallelize this a little bit and see if we can find some interesting parallels. But there's actually a term in data engineering where you're trying to, let me see if I get the split amount. I think it was maybe 8-for-1, where you're trying to get time series to fit over each other and you like adjust them slightly so that like pauses or delays in those time series can get sort of swallowed up and recreated. It's probably 8-for-1. You know, and it's funny, they did better when they weren't buying back stock. When they're letting their share count grow, buybacks are kind of contrary indicators. You know, when they're doing buybacks, well, that was the top, because when you got nothing to do with your stock and you're not growing fast, buybacks are kind of like, oh, again, very, very cringe. I mean, you're buying back your stock at the height of your success. What do you think is going to happen? And it may look smart in a few years, but does it look smart in 10 years? Does it look smart in 20 years? That's kind of what matters. And that's where I think I'm going to really understand where Nvidia is going here. And it's not easy, right? It's not like this is going to give us the answer. This is going to give us a clue if we're lucky. So we got a wrong number here. 406, 415, 273, got it. All right, let me double check this split. It must have been 8-for-1, but I just want to, there was a 2-for-1. I don't know. I'm just going to assume that was it. The numbers add up. So, oh yeah. Yeah, 2-for-1s. I don't know. It has to be right. And Intel, a much younger company here at just 8 billion in revenue. And look at this. This really does maybe remind of Nvidia, because let's just do this for a second while we fill these out. So 91, 92, you know, Intel in essence is growing like a weed. So 20%, 22%, 50%, 31, 41, 29, 20, 6 years in a row of massive, massive growth. So maybe I'll color that light green. Then you do have this slowdown here, right? 98, there was a stock market crash in essence. Even in 94, there was some Asian contagion, but that didn't stop Intel. And 99, 2000, the growth was again double digits. And it's good to save these because, I mean, once you've done it once, you have it forever. And if you ever want to look at AMD, you can kind of get a sense from the AMD Intel wars of yore. Okay, and here is another split. So 16 shares go 16x. Incredible what splits can do. And again, the share count's going up, not going down. They're not buying back shares. They're letting the options grants dominate. And, company thinks that, oh, well, once we have tons of cash, we can buy back those options. But it's like, actually, you're better off just issuing lots more, getting your workforce organized and excited about the next thing you can do. Intel wisely always avoided quantum, by the way. They have a small quantum group, but they always were suspicious of quantum, which is the one thing they did right. But they got into a ton of missteps. They kind of got into Ethernet networking, and that never became really big for them. And we all know Intel's missteps, and it's easy, again, to say in hindsight what happened, what went wrong. All right, so we have all the way back to 94 here. It's going to be a little tricky to get maybe more. My databases aren't exactly cooperating, but I think I can do it. I have to go to the microfilm for this one. Internet's your friend, right? You could just search Intel 1990 10K. Intel has a historical archive on their website. It's kind of memory lane. This is what you used to do. And the college I went to, we had a reading room of all these old annual reports. So you'd go find them there or something like that. The Treacherous 8 or Treacherous 7, what was it? There's Craig Barrett and Andy Grove. I don't know microprocessor lore, but there was the Fairchild 32-bit systems. Okay, here's our income statement. All right, so again, some lovely growth here in the 90s, early 80s, or early 90s, late 80s. Again, kind of reminiscent of Nvidia's scaled differently. I mean, that is 0, I guess, because the world economy was just less mature the time. What am I doing here? I'm missing a year. There we go. And now we have to scale the shares outstanding by 32. They've split so much that yeah, 32x, excuse me, shares outstanding growth. Buybacks in the scheme of things didn't even dent those in a way. Now you see shares outstanding kind of growing rapidly instead of shrinking rapidly. It's very telling that, you had this dilution that occurred as they grew so fast and their employees, got all these stock options that no doubt, there were many Intel millionaires made. If you were walking around Silicon Valley and so I was at Intel, I'm a senior guy at Intel. I was there for the last 10 years. People would say, oh, wow, that guy's got to be rich, doing real well. Now you say something like that and you say, oh, poor guy. Feel bad for you, pal. They got a boatload of worthless Intel stock options. 2 more 20% years. So basically Intel had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 20% plus growth years, including a 50 and a 40. But 89 was a little slow. And again, when you're growing that fast, just growing 9% is actually kind of, I would say that's a cyclical downturn. But let's look at 87. Intel goes back far. I mean, this is the company that made the microprocessor. So we got more and more and more to go. If you can't wait. Cover photo. If you can't wait, you have ADHD. The investing takes a while. Intel's most advanced microprocessor, the 386. This is a 386. 1987. I was 4 years old. I was playing on Apple IIe's maybe, but not this. 275,000 transistors. There's trillions of transistors now. Capable of running DOS and Unix simultaneously. Woo! And also takes advantage of software developed for the 86 series. Major growth at this era too. And here's actually, in some ways, all that we want right here. So maybe we can, I hate to cut this short, but I know a lot of people have ADHD. So let's just, this is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. It's crazy. All right. 1265, 1365, 1629. This is what it takes to be good, in my opinion. 1122. Now, this is Intel's first billion-dollar year. 789, 855. Here's a period of very slow growth there. Again, some of this is product and some of it is, it's a 51% growth that year. And some of it is shipments and stuff like that. I mean, but you can see here there was some serious slowdowns. Here there was the 8586. What happened in 8586? Was that the crash? Is that the 84 crash? You know, Intel, you know, this is sort of reminiscent of Nvidia, right? Growing from 400 in revenue to 4 billion. That took 13 years, and then 4 billion to 40 billion. Maybe a little less successful than Nvidia, but still meteoric kind of success. Some years, early years, they're going up 60%. And again, we're not done. There were microprocessors. Well, this is around the time Intel got founded. We're getting pretty close to the start of the company. So see how they overlap. It'll be kind of interesting, at least. It was the first product, the 8086 or 8088 or 4044, something like that. I forgot what it was called. And see if you think this matches what quantum looked like, large scale integrated circuits. Okay, yeah, here's all the rest we need here. The 78, 1969, 600,000 in revenue. I have to go back in time more for Nvidia, or let's see if I can get Nvidia's 99 fiscal or 2009. 99, Jensen Huang, 39 years old. Marvin Burkett, 60. One of their CFOs went to jail. I don't know if it was him or not. But, you know, it's funny. Do you know any of these people? Does anybody ever heard of any of these people? Jeffrey Fisher, David Shannon. Okay. There's the S1 for Nvidia. I might have the details. S8. The head of Wilson Sonsini was still Larry Sonsini. They're raising 40 million. Can you imagine? That's a seed round today. The Riva 128 graphics processor. I'm going to throw that in my model just in case I ever meet an old Nvidia guy and say, do you know what the Riva 128 was? Was that any good? Let's see. What was this? 1996? 8. March 6, 98. 1998. Well, I guess they reincorporated in Delaware. Filed IPO, Riva 128 product. Wonder how many transistors that had, or if it was doing parallel processing. Okay, here it is from Dawn. Oh, they had normal fiscal years back then. Well, we should be able to recreate the whole thing. I don't know when they went to a bizarre fiscal year, but 12/31, 1997, 3 million in revenue there, 1 million in revenue there. Fiscal year 96, fiscal year 95. 12/31/96, 12/31/95. The first, okay, here's a 10K. It's 10K 405. Sometimes they had these weird. Then I had the Riva TNT. I kind of remember this thing. Okay, it says invention of the GPU 1999. I don't know if that's right. Riva 128ZX. I wonder if you could find one of these on eBay. Somebody can find one of those on eBay. Maybe send it over to me. I'll buy it and frame it. SGI. Everyone in Silicon Valley should know what SGI was. Wow, January 31st, 1999, we had 248 employees. Jesus. Can you imagine? Imagine quitting. I don't like this. Making video games, it's silly. Jensen Huang, 36. Oh, to be 36. Chris Malachowski. What's he doing right now? What's Chris Malachowski doing right now? Let's take a look. Boss. You're American electric engineer and billionaire businessman. Oh, wasn't this the guy that invented CUDA? Is this the CUDA guy? He co-founded Nvidia in 93. Okay, I'll write his name down. Okay, let's take a look at who else. Christine Hoberg. Oh, this is the, how many other CFOs got charged? Like, I think this is 2 or 3 times. Nvidia was lagging behind expectations. In order to meet those expectations, they entered into agreement with supplier. Sucks that she's now known for this, right? Senior Vice President at Nvidia. Jesus, look at this. Look at this guy. Experience, Senior Vice President, 31 years. This guy's still there? Director of Sales. He was at Adaptech. Really funny. No photo. Just, can I follow him? Maybe see if he can. Well, maybe he'll connect. Who knows? You never know, right? Nvidia's first salesperson. There he is. Before it had any products. At the time, Nvidia employed 25 people. So Technically, he's employee 26, right? Again, these people are still alive. You can call them up. You can find them. They're not, you know, I'm sure some of them are friendly. Don't go knock on their door, but was a senior staff engineer at Sun, where he developed the GX graphics chip. Sun and SGI were, I guess, the two main guys. Retired in 2003. Got it. Net worth. Oh, Jesus Christ. Forbes estimated 𝗏's net worth to be approximately 30 million. Not bad. If he had retained his shares in Nvidia, Forbes estimated 𝗏 would have been worth 70 billion. 2004, he donated 40 million to the institute, to his old college, RPI. So I think he's all right. Okay, month end. What is this? Month ended January 1st, 1998. Why are you reporting a month of revenue for me? Why do you do this? Have you guys ever seen this in a financial statement? This is why they're financial. They should go to jail for this. Month ended 1998. I'm sure Nvidia CFOs are nice people. But what is this? Month ended? Month ended? I just want to know what 98 revenue was. And I can just make it up. You know what? They made up numbers. I'll make up the numbers. Now, there should be a January full year here. I love these old ASCII 10Ks. They're pretty funny. But yeah, I really love doing research into the starts of companies. I've been doing this for a long time. I look at the first people who were at Google and OpenAI and other companies. It doesn't have to just be, oh my God, they still do the month end down here. I mean, this is not enough to make you scream. A month of revenue. It's a joke, right? I might have to impute it. I hate to do this, but might have to be imputed. You know what? There's also GPT. GPT is a pretty good search engine. Nvidia 1998 revenue. No, that's not right. What was Nvidia's revenue in fiscal year 1998? No, how about the year prior to that? Did it go down? I guess it went down. And the year prior to that? I mean, it could have just gone down. I can't find it. Do you want me to dig? Yes, I want you to dig. Of course. That's exactly what I'm asking you to do. All right, maybe we just leave it at that. Okay, now what do we do with this? We're going to take this and we're going to stagger it over Intel's start. We'll see who did better, and we'll also see how do we think about it from an inflationary perspective. Do we adjust? I think we would have to adjust for inflation, which we can do fairly easily. We can do a dollar value. What was the value of a dollar in 1969 to annually from 1969 to 1979? 30 adjustment factors, 3668. Wait, okay, this makes a little more sense. 880, 830, 790, 770, 730, 666, 570, 530, 497, 446, 393. And you can imagine these metrics would actually be useful for other comparisons you might make in the past. So this year, this is 130, 497 for, okay, so this year be 197, 220. And people are estimating, call it 300 for next year, really. Although that number, 300, even 300 is going to be too small. So technically Intel still kind of outperformed Nvidia. But let's see. Oh, well, up until here, and then Nvidia takes off like a rocket. There's no contest. I'll show you the chart in a second. There we go. Wow. Wow. Crazy. Look at that. You guys see this? That is nuts. My intuition was really... Now, the problem is, what can we infer? Nothing. Did we not adjust? No, we don't have to adjust. Do we have to adjust Nvidia for inflation? Yeah, it wasn't. I guess I just have to calculate the... Post it anyway. No, let's calculate the lag. So Intel's first year is 1969. So we change it to today's dollars. So we just have to do, how many years was that? 95. Okay. I think it's going to stay roughly the same relationship, by the way, but so this is 69 versus 95. So this is 26-year delay. I made it up. Good thing is I can take all that. We already have all the data, so I can go to Nvidia's first year, which again is 95. Copy pasta this. Yeah, it's going to mostly be the same. My lawyer was joking with my prosecutor, which I didn't like, that he's like, Martin's the most honest fraudster you'll ever meet. And the prosecutor's like, you're right, actually. I'm like, that's because I'm not a fraud. You adjusted, I just adjusted it for inflation to the, yeah, I guess if you do you still need the first 24 years of inflation that it didn't overlap. After that, you don't have to adjust anymore. There's just one problem. CPI is fake. Well, that's true. That's true, actually. If you remove the last value, you could argue that it's not going to be much higher, but I do think that they are going to meet that value. I mean, Jensen said they have 5 billion, and I guess I should have started with 0 as well for that last one little line. I like that. Which one is Intel? Which one is Nvidia? Well, take a wild guess. There's one chart that's breaking out a bit really fast and ends after 1999 because it's a younger company. So, you know, in some ways, this is kind of bullish because it sort of shows that Intel was able to do just fine for 25 years after plateauing. Never had a big drop, right? Plenty of competition for Intel. Never had this big, fat, you know, drop. Data series labeled. There's nothing to label. There's 2 lines. Bro, you don't have your data series labeled. One is Nvidia. The other is Intel. Do you need more help? Do you, though? Yeah, I'll do me. I'm the millionaire investor who's world famous. You are, I don't know, some guy. Make a box with a key of the 2 lines that are labeled already? I think it's interesting that they tracked closely for 30 years. That's crazy. Okay, well, how many millions do you have? Yeah, the chart properties, some of you guys have been doing too much investment banking. The chart properties are not quite important. What's important is the insight. I mean, if you're too stupid to understand it, you don't belong. I mean, you shouldn't be investing. Just go away. This is not what we do. SPY's barely up. Quantum rallying. I guess something for you. Don't worry. Shorting more D-Wave here. Their quarter is going to be smaller than Miss Kim's laundromat. We're going to take it live to Miss Kim. Miss Kim, good catch up with you. How was your Q3? Better or worse than D-Wave? I just need an actual Miss Kim who will do the acting. Apple's also in the bizarre fiscal year. So the top 3 companies in the world all have a weird fiscal year. Thanks a lot, guys. You make it easy for the rest of us. Is Apple also 32 times next year? Do you guys chat? You see this chat? Microsoft and Apple, 32 times earnings. I mean, we know Apple's not growing, right? Right, chat? Man, Apple has a lot of revenue, though. Apple looking like food to OpenAI. Yeah, I can make a Jony Ive thing. Make a little Jony Ive, John. Apple sales growth is low single digits. Some of these things are not alike. Is Apple a short? Everyone says they're partnering with Nvidia when they buy Nvidia chips. I'm gonna need that cash flow for real. We are the stupid ones? I'm sorry. What? You think I'm the stupid one? I need that cash flow. GROF. Yeah, they did have a monster quarter. I'll admit that. Again, Apple with the buybacks.
Stephanie Tinney, why don't you buy SPY calls?
Well, Stephanie, as someone infinitely smarter than you, infinitely more skilled, extremely handsome, I will tell you that no, I'm not going to buy SPY calls, okay? Extremely. Maybe not extremely. Oh, you're up 2,000%. Oh, that's great. That's good. Pretty soon, you know, at that rate, you'll be the richest person in the world. Your strategy is superb. Hold on. Let me get some of the, let me get these pension funds on the line. They want to talk to you. Buy SPY calls, you say? Never thought of that. Mr. Griffin, we'd like to redeem our entire investment from Citadel, Kensington, and Wellington funds immediately. Hold on. Mr. Englander. Yes. Millennium has underperformed the S&P 500. We'd like to redeem our entire investment. What are we going to do with it? Well, first of all, sir, that's none of your business. But second of all, I'm going to buy some SPY calls. That's right. And a good day to you.
Well, things are a little frothy, but, Stephanie said to buy some call options, so I told the Berkshire guys to stop writing insurance policies. Actually, write as many policies as you can. Just get the money in. get the cash in, baby. And I'm going to put it all in calls. And guess what? It's called a gamma squeeze. That's right. I read about it on Reddit. We're going to do a gamma squeeze on the whole market. Hold on. Let me get Bill Gates on the line. Hold on.
Yes?
All right, it's Warren. Listen, take all your money, all right? Gates Foundation, the money I gave you. What? Weekly meeting? Who said we were a weekly meeting? Okay, I gotta go.
Google filed an 8K. Cloud beats. Revenue beats by 2 billion. Cloud was so-so. It may drop on so-so cloud. Search beat. Big earnings beat. Yeah, just the base business did really well on Google. But cloud was, Microsoft's out. 77.7 up 18%. Feels a bit in line. Cloud, Alphabet guiding CapEx. If Nvidia moves off that. Wait, is that right? 2025 CapEx 91 to 93. That's more than before, no? Yeah, it was 75 to 85. Now they're moving to 91 to 93. That's almost 20. Wow, that's good for Nvidia. It's almost 20 billion, 15 billion increase in CapEx. I suppose that's why Nvidia is so confident now, is it? Okay, it's about 8 billion increase. It looks like 7 billion increase. Still, increasing CapEx is Microsoft slumping on the news. Carvana down 6%. Google up 8% now. Meta typically comes at 420. Sales estimate was 49.51. They beat. CapEx also increased. Wow. Fourth quarter 56 to 59. Pretty weak guide there for Meta. Usually conservative, but pretty weak guide for Meta. I think Nvidia is the winner of all the. If there's any doubt, Nvidia's revenue's gonna be bigger than we thought. It's Google Cloud 11,353 to 15,157. Cloud growth, 34%. I mean, that's arguably an acceleration, but healthy. Subscriptions, platform, and devices, 12,870. Also beat pretty handsomely there. Network, 7,354. This has been a dog for a while. YouTube not beat slightly, but okay performance. Search was the real king here, where the core search business is doing just fine. It's kind of a so-so quarter for Google in some ways, but I guess that is more than their, exactly. AI ain't killing search yet is the kind of takeaway there, but I don't know if it merits a 7% bump. Google had already rallied quite a lot. First ever 100 billion in revenue. 650 MAU on Gemini. That's almost as much as ChatGPT. ChatGPT is more actually, as WAUs. Let's trade on Google. Okay, it's coming back down a little bit here, but Microsoft down 3 or 4%. Meta down 7. Nvidia up 3, but I'm not sure Nvidia would move much after hours yet. I think maybe this was expected again, given Nvidia's very strong tenor yesterday. Take a wild guess why I would align myself with right-wing politics. Take a wild guess. PP&E increased 20 billion. Hey, Google has too much cash now. Really absurd amount of cash over at Google. I guess they're doing some buybacks. I don't even know if they'd be allowed to buy Anthropic. Amazon probably would be, although you'd still probably hear AOC complain. Google Willow is not something anybody cares about. Okay, free cash flow still able to grow despite this crazy CapEx spending. Pretty impressive. Google now 3.5 trillion, 46 times. Is that right? Multiple is back. Yeah, CapEx is so much above depreciation that it's hard to imagine net income not dropping. Meta released earnings. Not bad to have a lot of cash. Usually Microsoft calls first. Or am I wrong? Long and busy day. Meta had a good quarter, man. Oh, wow, a lot of R&D. When you hire all those OpenAI people for billions of dollars, might spend some R&D money. Look, I had to pay billions of dollars for the big, beautiful bill. And so I don't fall behind in AI. But Meta's kind of like connecting millions of people with our tools and Instagram. We had a strong quarter for our business and our community. Meta Superintelligence Labs is off to a great start, and we continue to lead the industry in AI glasses. I personally think AI glasses are really cool, and everyone's going to wear them. If we deliver even a fraction of the opportunity ahead, the next few years will be the most exciting period
in our history. Metaverse is a little behind schedule, but we're going to need these investments in AI to make sure that when we do deliver the metaverse, that it's better than reality.
Yeah, I don't know. Meta seems like it could come back a little bit price-wise. I mean, it's not the first time their spending scared people. Okay, here's their explanation of spending. Our compute needs have continued to expand meaningfully, including versus our expectations just last quarter. Invest aggressively to meet these needs. Further upward pressure on CapEx and expense plans next year? What? That doesn't necessarily mean CapEx will be up. Oh no, it says, as a result, our current expectation is that capital expenditure dollar growth will be notably larger in 2026 than 2025. Holy. How do you not buy as much Nvidia as you can?
Smoked meats are actually more important to me than Facebook.
Glorified ad selling company. It's an ad selling company. Nobody